Part 2 of the show. And before we get into the emails, boys,
I've got a story.
You got a story? Okay, all right, here we go. I had everyone loves it
during the week.
A conniption.
Yeah.
Only one. Here we go. We're off here.
Oh, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your car's there, mate. It's all right. No scratches or nothing.
I had grouse as a dog. Sometimes I just wander around. I don't know why.
Like gun.
When I'm not walling, I'm mauling. That's right.
What about doonering?
I do know, but when I'm no good. When I'm not walling, I'm mauling. So I'm mauling and I'm walking around. There's a toy shop. You'll love this story. Toy shop. I used to be a kid. I'm going to go in the toy shop. I was like that kid, like Tom Hanks in Big, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sitting there. I was going, I used to get dinosaurs and I like my little players, and I'm fucking thinking, something wrong with me. There's something massively vicious. And all of a sudden, just in the corner there was this big bag of coins. Fake coins. But they were the mirror image of the 50-cent coin, the 20-cent coin. And I'm looking at them going, I could fucking make it quid here. These would pass as real fucking coins. And I'm looking at them going, fucking, they're just dead set ringers. They're plastic, but you know, you can put them on the counter. I can get an earn out of this. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, so I look at them, and there's like, so I look at the top, and there's 10 50-cent coins, 10 20-cent coins, 10 10s, and 10 5s, and 10 2s, 10 and 2s and 1s out, but you chuck the brows out.
Yeah.
And I'm going, so then the girl comes out, can I help you? So no, I'm just looking at these coins, you know, like coins, thinking, I'll buy every box here, I'll move these around somehow. So at the top of the packet said $29.99. That's about $8.50 worth of coins. And I'm going, fuck, another idea of mine that doesn't work. You know, blowing up. Michelle comes over. I said, well, hang on. I said, does anyone buy these loaves? She goes, oh, they're very popular. I said, well, I've got kids, even though I haven't given my kids. I said, aren't you better off just to give your kids $8.85 of real coins in a bag? I said, at least after 5 years you can then go spend them. And she looked at me and she went, then I did have a Katie Couric. Because I went from like thinking of, boy, got a way to make some money, to like, anyone that buys a kid's plastic coins, just give them real fucking coins.
So why don't you just bag up $8.85
That's
real
what I
coins?
just said.
Start selling it for $6.
No, but the girl actually said to me,
for $30.
she actually said to me, the girl, oh, but these, if you lose them, it doesn't matter. And I thought, that's when I had my Katie Couric and I went, fucking what? Yeah, that was my Toy Story. She said, when you lose them, it doesn't matter.
Because she's been paid.
Yeah.
It's a great story, isn't it?
Yeah.
$29.99 for fucking fake coins.
But you know the good thing to do to kids, young kids too, is if
give them a bag of coins.
No, if they've got a $2 coin and you've got a 50-cent piece, you go up to them and say, you can have this one because it's bigger, and just rob the kid. Great. They're onto that, yeah.
I'm going to do that. Anyway, that was my Katie Couric moment of the Toy Story.
Okay. We mentioned the weight scale, boys. Obviously, Nick Ashman has been behind this. Nick actually sent a letter into Racing New South Wales, and I think they acted on it a bit. So he proposed the idea that if they increase the weights at the top of the level, so that you could increase field sizes, which would be, or open it up, and they've announced they're doing that, and they've also announced they're putting on another race on a Saturday.
Provincial race?
Yeah, provincial race for $40,000.
So we're mirroring Melbourne. It's
exactly right.
No, it'll be a Cody Morgan benefit.
Well, that's
if he trains, he'll bring down.
Sorry, who's it for? The $40,000 race is
country train.
Country, not Chris Lee's, not provincials.
Countries, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, countries.
Yeah.
Right.
Not like fucking.
Okay, so because they're coming, they'll bring something else.
The only one that's in a category of like a hot trainer was Guy Walter could have brought from Goulburn Stables, but he's not here.
Very tricky.
Yeah.
Guy Walter.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah,
but he's not here anyway.
Yeah.
But besides that, Cody Morgan's going to be winning provincial races in town, which means Lily will be in town, which means I'll be having dinner with Lily. See how it all works out for me.
So that's set to start at the same time.
I think that race is December. I think we've got 9 races from December, because we'll probably have 9 races still over the carnival time and all that sort of business. But okay, so they've changed the weight scale. One thing that hasn't been mentioned in it, because obviously everyone's going into category conniptions, oh my God, my horse is going to have to carry 61 kilos. But as Gay made the point, most horses carry a lot more than that at track work. In Nick's article on Sunday, one of the things that he had there was a bonus if you were carrying 61 kilos to encourage, you get an extra 5,000 prize money or something like that to encourage people to actually run their horses with it, to debunk the myth that the horses will not die and fall.
Well, what about those poor jumpers that actually not only have to carry 75 kilos, but they have to jump with 75 kilos?
What about
over 4,612 metres?
And
Written by Captain and the military riders only.
And the point that Gay made in quoting that, she said the English horses seem to carry 60 kilos plus all the time, and they tend to go okay in the Melbourne Cup, so they've seemed to cope with the
they've survived. They've
survived the dramatic impost, without flailing. So anyway, that could increase field sizes, Glenn.
Yeah.
Right, so they're trying to get a bigger spread of
the weights.
The interesting aspect of this whole thing is that they just failed. They keep missing the point. They go, we'll have to give country horses an allowance from their benchmark. They keep saying this.
Yeah. Isn't that just an admission the benchmark system's wrong?
Well, they're giving them the wrong benchmark in the first place.
Exactly.
Hello?
Yeah, exactly. That's right. But we've known this for how long the benchmark system has been in.
They're still going with it. We might have to tinker with it. We might have to give those country horses 8 points relief.
Well, why not get it right to start with?
Yeah. It's because they want to be formulaic all the time.
Yeah.
We don't want to pay someone to think about how much weight to give these horses.
Well,
right? Because then we might have to actually pay them quite a lot of money. We want to pay them $50,000 a year, and they will just go, okay, 1 plus 3. In fact, the computer program will do it.
Probably spit it out. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What they should be doing is, okay, this horse is from Canberra, so that their benchmarks are out of line by about 8 points. This horse is from Dubbo, their benchmarks are out of line by about 35 points. Just get it right in the first place.
Yeah, that's right. And then maybe a little bit of human polish on top too.
What about this? They're going to give the handicappers a 1 kilo discretion if horses are running at long distance.
1 kilo?
So the 2 mile horse comes back in a 1,200 metre race, they'll give it a kilo off. Yeah. That'll make it competitive.
Yeah. It's all automated, isn't it? Where's the polish? Where's just the... I would have thought that most people that are betting seriously have the computer programs, but to come to their final decision, it's the human polish which makes the difference.
Yeah, but you have to pay people to do that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's a value add.
Yeah. We're paying a lot of people a lot of money at Racing New South Wales to do a lot of things that maybe not as important.
Yeah. Talking about important jobs at Racing New South Wales, last Wednesday at Warwick Farm we had a new little course detective, and someone gave me a great snippet, one of the regulars out there, a new little course detective, and he was like running around. It's his first day on the job. You can't touch that table or do this. Everyone's going, mate, please. It's not a course detective, but a course supervisory type. I don't know what he was.
Sorry, is he replacing somebody?
I don't know. He was a little busybody. He wasn't there Saturday, but he was...
Not Sean Thompson?
No, but he was just like... He looked like... It was his first day on the job. He was probably trying to make an impression. We'll school him right. Suit? Yeah. And he was in a ATC look. And then we had the two new course detectives. They're young blokes. They're like undercover police, ex-undercover police. I think one used to be a narcotics cop. I seen him down the Coogee Bay, arrested a couple of years ago. Anyway, they're there, and I said to a bloke a regular said to me, this bloke's a bit of a busybody. I said, they've got the other 2. I said, that many police out here? And then the old bloke, he looked at me and said, so they're like Sherlock Holmes, are they? And I said, yeah, they're always sniffing around, like these course detectives looking around. And you know what he said to me? He said, they should have course detectives out here. They should be looking at what happened to the crowd.
Looking for the lost
Go and find the lost patrons.
But it's interesting, you can actually find the lost patrons. They exist in cyberspace.
Yeah.
But there's no attempt to actually do anything about them.
You know what course we've got? Bookies.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, we didn't come up with the tweet that Snow retweeted around the place from Mr. Hong Kong.
Which one was that?
Well, who's got a phone on them? I retweeted it. It's
sorry. I meant to look for it up.
Matt will look it up.
From the chief executive, Wilfred, old mate from Hong Kong.
Okay, yeah.
About talking about. Look that up.
What did he say?
Wait till you hear this. You will be flabbergasted.
Yeah, this
what
is
did
a
he say?
racing.
What did he say? I'm excited.
Wait.
I can't wait. What did he say?
He's got to find it. Anyway.
Do you know?
Yeah, I read it.
Tell me.
Well, he basically said, okay, we can
Just tweet it.
He basically said that we can't have too much racing because people have got
we don't do wall-to-wall racing in Hong Kong because people need 4 hours to study the form.
What, someone saying about racing?
You cannot believe that someone in administration...
Here, thank you. He said, we have no interest in wall-to-wall racing in Hong Kong. Our customers do, on average, 4 hours of form study per meeting before betting. Knowing customer preferences, we want to keep horse racing as a mind game. For that, you need richness of information and you need time to study the form. You have to have time to see the horses in the paddock and assess the conditions. Our customer learning shows that they don't want permanent betting opportunities. They see this as not a chance game, but as a mind game.
Can we get him for mention time?
No, can we just
Did
get
anyone
a
got any
response
plastic coins
from anybody?
On that?
Just a response.
Well, they are lining up at Royal Bulldogs.
Yeah, that's right. We can't have it. Yeah, we just got to wait till...
That cartoon racing is going to save the whole industry.
Yeah,
it is. It's really great.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a beauty, isn't it?
Wow.
He's a good man.
All right, moving along. We asked last week about Sidestep's greatest moments, Glenn. Because
Oh yes. Did he dump Brown in the top?
Dumping Brown in the top, but I don't remember that, Mark.
Did he get away?
So I think he was like, we blew out the gate that day, and then he started in the Pango the week later to get into the slipper. He was backed off the map.
Oh, that's right. He backed up, didn't he? Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
backed off the map.
That's right. Yes. And then he ran second in the slippers, and a couple of people, including Mark Cruikshank, said the greatest moments was being on at 100s and 80s on the way down and not backing it each way in the slipper and run second. Well done.
Well, you can back it up.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Then I bring up
Who knew?
I bring up side steps because I see something in a pub, and then all of a sudden everyone wants to talk about dumping.
That's right. You're our eyes and ears.
Yeah.
It's like the pub. You're all mad. You're all.
Yeah, no.
Come
What?
on. You're not married. you're at home. You're at home full of gear all the time. You're unconscious. I'm out there playing poker, talking to the real people. You're on the pipe, 3 out, and you're fucking.
You betting on Maria today?
I'm not.
Timmy.
Is that because there's no racing?
There's no rest of
I can get you racing at 4 for Maria.
Yes, I can.
But for nothing.
I know that record too. Yeah, I've been to that. But no, I've just been having a few more days off. Ever since I stopped the golf, I've still been having a few more days off. I'm trying to get back to the old, fresher Glen.
Yeah.
So my first death ride of the
All
season.
right, so you need the 4 hours.
I'm just
being
being. I haven't been betting 7 days a week lately. I've been betting just on race days now. Just having a bit of a break.
What?
Yeah, every day's a race day, eh? So what, you've had Good Friday off and Christmas Day?
No, I mean the meetings I go to.
And with all
been
called off.
abandoned.
Yeah.
Like Wagga's been abandoned.
Yeah.
That's right, Corinda.
I'm sort of having a bit of a spell. This is a spell. I'm on holidays at the moment.
Warren's off.
I'll be there tomorrow.
Timmy said it, not really the guts of the tweet, but it's interesting. I wanted to raise a point here, not stating anything new here, but if the replays of races 4 to 8 can be uploaded to Racing New South Wales, what's wrong with the first 3 as well? I think there was a bit of a delay on...
I haven't heard. No, they're still not there.
Oh, still not there, are they?
And I thought, okay, that's all right. I'll just log into Sky Channel through my tab account, and I'll have them there.
Not there?
Not there either.
Oh, okay.
They've got 4 to 8, so there's some technical problem there. But
Am I being nitpicky to say that it's obviously great that the replays are on that website and they come up, they're quick.
they're linked to the form and all that sort of
that's
stuff.
great. But am I being nitpicking to say that the quality is all, like pretty bad and it doesn't really, if you're going to really look, especially in the trials where you want to see if a horse is 90% or 100% sort of to the line, which is a big difference, the quality's not good enough.
So you want higher resolution.
Yeah, I would say the problem with that actually probably lies in where Australia is placed. Not everybody has the NBN, Matthew, so there probably has to be sent out at a
Even if you've got Malcolm's NBN, it's probably not.
No, that's what my point being is because you can't have it at that high resolution.
I understand.
Because if it is, most people won't be able to download it.
The Victorian quality is better.
Okay.
It probably does take a bit longer, and the South Australian quality is probably better than both.
Who's supplying the South Australian stuff?
I don't know. It's on their website.
Oh, right.
It's in a nice format. It's
But wouldn't
similar.
Sky Channel be doing the
Yeah, Sky Channel Sky Channel's all the same quality, but if you go to the individual websites, Queensland's website was high quality, probably too much.
Well, they need to save some dollars.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what happens, Matthew. You spend over 300 million on it. You can. Yeah. Unfortunately, if you don't have it in the bank, it becomes a problem.
So I'm nitpicking there, but
it's interesting you did that, because that was almost the point of raising this point, is that we're now being able to nitpick over videos, and it wasn't that long ago we weren't able to access.
Didn't have any videos.
And there was a point that was raised to me. I think it was by Darren talking about. He said, "Oh, don't you have internet problems at Canterbury?" Remember those days?
Remember those days?
We used to have internet problems
Every day in Canterbury was slow.
Oh, every meeting.
You'd ring Telstra and then you get some bloke in Jakarta going, no, internet work at Canterbury. And you go, oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, fucking go sucking another 7 into your straw home. Like, fuck off. But now it's better.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We haven't, but isn't it funny we haven't had a problem with it for
about 9 months.
Yeah. They actually got it right.
Well, with the club did or with the Telstra did or
They
someone.
put some new infrastructure.
Probably put some.
They put a pole in somewhere.
Yeah. See, the problem is, like, you go out and test.
There was a little black spot.
Yeah. You go out and test it and everything would be fine, but that until 5 or 6 people wanted to use it at the same time.
Yeah.
So they
Overloads
must
it.
be able to simulate a bit of traffic somehow. That otherwise.
Well, that was our frustration.
Let's not talk about it.
Yeah, it's done. It's
It's
finished.
fixed.
It's
Okay, I
done.
don't want to start thinking all back.
Ralphie Horowitz retweeted a Lee Dalton tweet, which could be the tweet of the year. And Lee Dalton said, "Find the youngest child you can, because maybe, just maybe, they'll live to lay another horse like Lord of the Sky under 50 to 1, because we won't."
So what was this? Look, I haven't been really following the Lord of the Sky story yet. So he came up to Randwick to run second to look the winner in the TJ Smith.
yeah.
Since then, what's happened?
Well, I think this TJ Smith's almost a blip on the radar. You know, he's only been...
Went back home, ran short, beaten the nose, and then had a little break.
Did Lee tweet this
Couple of
before they
weeks.
jumped?
No, after.
No, but we would have later because
He would have laid it. And it just went awful to start before at about $2 something. And then it lined up again yesterday on Saturday.
There was some litany of excuses for why it went so
Oh, it's just, whatever.
Not last start.
Last start, it just didn't find the right spot.
So-
It got caught wide.
He's a Dolts bet now. He used to be Melbourne punter though, didn't he?
Oh,
Yeah,
That's his Twitter handle.
He had to change.
oh, he changed
Oh,
it.
did he change the
Not
one?
sure why.
Oh, did he?
Oh, what, legal reason?
Well, he would have said something he shouldn't have, would he?
He's
That's a good thing about it. Wouldn't just change the tweet?
Yeah.
No, that wasn't me.
No.
I'm over here. It's that fuckwit. That's great. That.
You were saying, Mark?
Yeah.
Anyway, Ralphie also said, we've got a photo here of it's probably the youngest waller we've ever seen, Glenn.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just put that up there. There's young walling. Baby walling.
And who's
Glenn,
the
what's your,
Harper.
do you have a minimum
Harper?
age for walling, or
Harper's the granddaughter,
Of who?
the person holding her?
the grandfather.
Looks like Mark Guest.
Could be.
Glenn, any thoughts minimum age walling or open for?
Oh, I'm full. I'd say,
What about maximum age? 54.
oh no, maximum age, no. Right through into the next life. Even heaven or hell, or hell, I'll be walking there. Just another note, just quickly. I just want to give a bloke a rap. His horse ran second at Newcastle. He started 40s there. That Michael Costa, I'm telling you, he's a really good trainer. All his horses parade well. Like all of them really parade in a good style. So he had a horse there completely $16 on Saturday unraced.
Two like Leggings trials, but it did. Drew Barry won.
48.
So I was out 8 metres.
Went like a
Drew
drunken
Barry
sailor
won.
down the straight, but looked to be a horse with a little bit of
And
ability.
there's Robert Thompson, like gunning it down.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Go,
Right.
go, Robert.
But Michael's
He's got a
horses,
stack of 2-year-olds coming through.
Michael's horses parade really, really well, and he really surprises me because a lot of young blokes starting off in the game. Let's face it, I mean, it's a hard game. It's a hard game, and the training record would be another. You know, like, but
Yeah, he does a good job.
I think he's doing well.
he's doing really. His horses look really well all the time, and they seem to be always out in the market. They can get on.
Well, that's they don't look to have any obvious credentials.
It doesn't not like I'm tipping you to a young Timmy Martin or a young, you know.
Tim Martin.
But when he was young, they were like everything was 7-4 and 5-2.
No, reputation.
Costa, it's fucking 20s every start. They get the 50s on the field. They seem to try the whole race.
Does he must have predominantly cheap horses, Matt?
What's the story?
Yeah, but he's got
Does he
he's
buy
got-
them?
Yeah,
Does he
no,
pick them?
Yeah, he picks them.
Because he picks a good style of
Yeah,
horse.
he's got heaps, like an amazing amount of 2-year-olds coming through. Like a few weeks ago, the trials, like that one Saturday was there, and he had about 7 or 8 2-year-olds trial.
When you say 2-year-olds as in now, so 3-year-olds next week?
Yeah.
Or this week?
Yeah, because the others haven't started.
Well,
yet.
that's not-
Yeah.
Because
So
otherwise we'll be there.
Yeah. Well, but 2-year-olds in 2 days' time,
There'll be
2-year-olds.
There'll be two-year-olds in stables, won't there? At the moment, like sorry, rising 2-year-olds.
Rising to as in yearlings.
Yearlings.
Oh yeah, before.
Yeah.
Stables are
Yeah, they'll
full.
be fiddling around.
Yeah, they're
They're on the track.
They're
So,
working my own. That's Gay will probably have half
Yeah.
the stable.
Well, he started out with all those old horses that sort of, we've seen them for years.
Patched
now,
up.
Yeah, but now he's got a new brigade coming through, and he's got heaps of numbers, which he'll be some sort of force with his 3-year-olds, I suppose, next year, and winning maidens at Canterbury and stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Well, I think he's going to. I think he's going to profile well. I think he's going to be a good stable for us punters to follow. That's what's playing out.
Beautiful. Moving to Des. Can't believe you were talking ugliest jockeys on the show. It was only a late mention.
What was I mentioning? We did forget Beaver Schofield.
He
I saw
just
that.
said, didn't mention
There he
Beaver
was on-
Schofield.
See him on Saturday. Yeah. He's probably looking better than he was.
Rating better than I think you'd improve after. You could only improve after being a jockey.
Well, he used to be 42 kilos and had acne from hell.
Yeah.
It's hard to go to the clubs.
I suppose the reverse
Hi there,
is
darling,
like.
look at this face. You want to jump on this thing? Like, like. No, thanks, mate. But thanks anyway. Oh, mate.
As mentioned, you had to be impressed with Brendan Abdallah. He was a great interview, Matt. Really good.
Yeah, no, he's
Two good back-to-back ones with him and Bajon.
he comes across as a real thinking jockey, and he's switched on. He's loving it at the moment.
Well, his life's fantastic at the moment. He's cruising around a nice Berg, nice home, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't think he's married, is he? That's got to be good news.
No, he wanted to make sure that people knew he's single.
Yeah.
Is he single? Or is he single
think so.
double?
He said he was single in the interview.
How's he travelling? He's flying.
putting it out there.
He's absolutely flying.
Yeah.
It's a sort of a restaurant/bar/night.
Yeah, it's
night spot.
whatever.
So, yeah, it's sort of.
Dusty people like Dallas Town there.
Been there.
Andrew Johns, regular.
Andrew Johnson regular.
We've seen him there. Yeah.
He's,
Anyway.
I don't know if anyone saw it yesterday. This is not doing it again. On the sports show, yesterday on the footy show with Peter Sterling, it's unbelievable actually. They have this thing where you pass the ball
Pass
through
the ball,
a thing.
yeah.
Oh, like the old
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, it's been going for
No,
months.
you didn't. There wasn't
It's
there.
great TV.
But there wasn't. You brought it up before. Wasn't there like a big fat kid?
The
or something?
Commonwealth Bank. Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was doing anything, I say.
Falako short.
Anyway, there was that bloke, and last row was
Bank
Eric.
elephant.
Last
Yeah.
row was Eric Grove Jr. They said, "Quick, you got 1 second." He went, boom, and the ball went straight through the hole. Great pass, and then they pick up the balls, and then Joey Johnson's about 10 foot behind him, and he just goes boom, and it goes straight through, and there was Fiddler 10 foot behind him, like 30 yards away. Fuck you, Joey Johnson. Boom, 3 in a row.
Really?
They didn't even say anything. I just said,
Wow.
just to have such skill still.
Yeah.
Just they're skillful blokes.
They were. Anyway, hats to wrap up the emails. There's a putter show this week. Gold for anyone who ever called themselves a putter. Attitude to the world is unbeatable. I think
Is that our attitude to the world?
Yeah, I think that might have been in reference to John Massara coming on and off the course. But
Nothing to do with getting the black bloke to wax up your board and then getting him to test the waters before you go out.
That's Steve Mascott, I think. Rugby league journalist.
no, it's not Masco. No, it's not.
Oh, it was.
No, it wasn't.
He would have stopped.
No, I know. No, it's nothing. No.
Anyway, he didn't mention the.
Anyway,
No.
but the world has ended. Glenn called himself 11-2, then said throw in at the $5.50 for the tournament betting.
No, I knew what that was. That was a mistake.
Yes.
Not your mistake.
I wouldn't have said 11 to 550.
No,
It was the
tournament is 550.
Exactly, 550.
Yeah, hats, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Don't worry, man. I wouldn't say 11 to 2 is 550.
I thought, yeah.
No way, no. The
He was
tournament
Katie
550.
Kiriking, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Hats doesn't get anything wrong. He's got that wrong. No, the tournament was $550. I said it was 11 to 2. You thought I meant I was should have said 650. I would have said 650, baby. I wouldn't even meant to say the price. I'd say 11 to 2.
Yeah. All right.
There it is. End of budget.